Hello, friends and neighbors, and welcome back to the poem of the day for today, Saturday, August 30th, 2025. Quick note just on audio, the fan on my computer is running intermittently, so if there's a sort of whistle or a humming or a running going on throughout, my apologies for that, but that's my computer trying to cool itself down, apparently. It's not particularly hot here. It's been really rather nice over the past few days and should remain so for a week or so. Looks like kind of high 70s, low 80s in my part of the world. And so we've been able to go outside a whole lot more and experience nature and get some sunlight. And it's been really rather pleasant these days of late summer. As a very rough transition, it's been far less pleasant, I suppose, for the mariner. Today we'll read part 6. And just as a quick recap of the ending of part 5, the mariner being all alone on the ship, we had another kind of interjection from the wedding guest that the wedding guest was fearful of the mariner, again suspecting that he himself might be either still possessed of an ominous curse or might be some sort of demon or otherworldly being rather than what he appears himself to be as a person. And we also, towards the end, the polar spirit and the polar spirit's demons have accelerated and carried the ship to the point that the mariner sort of passes out into this lucid dreaming state and hearing the two spirits talking above him as he lies there asking, is this the man? Is this the one who killed the harmless albatross? And it ends with us learning that the polar spirit particularly loved that bird, and that though the mariner has already endured a lot of penance, there is still a lot of penance to befall him in the future. And for us, that's the remaining about 200 lines of the poem, the last two parts. So we will continue today with part 6 of The Rime of the Ancient Mariner from 1798, written by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. First voice. But tell me, speak again, thy soft response renewing, what makes that ship drive on so fast? What is the ocean doing? Second voice. Still as a slave before his lord, the ocean hath no blast. His great bright eye, most silently, up to the moon is cast. If he may know which way to go, for she guides him smooth or grim, see, brother, see, how graciously she looketh down on him. First voice. But why drives on that ship so fast without or wave or wind? Second voice. The air is cut away before and closes from behind. Fly, brother, fly, more high, or we shall be belated, for slow and slow that ship will go when the mariner's trance is abated. Back to the mariner. I woke and we were sailing on as in a gentle weather. 'Twas night, calm night. The moon was high. The dead men stood together. All stood together on the deck for a charnel dungeon fitter. All fixed on me their stony eyes that in the moon did glitter. The pang, the curse with which they died had never passed away. I could not draw my eyes from theirs nor turn them up to pray. And now this spell was snapped. Once more I viewed the ocean green and looked far forth, yet little saw of what else been seen. Like one that on a lonesome road doth walk in fear and dread, and having once turned round, walks on, and turns no more his head, because he knows a frightful fiend doth close behind him tread. But soon there breathed a wind on me, nor sound nor motion made. Its path was not upon the sea, in ripple or in shade. It raised my hair, it fanned my cheek, like a meadow gale of spring, It mingled strangely with my fears, yet it felt like a welcoming. Swiftly, swiftly flew the ship, yet she sailed softly too. Sweetly, sweetly blew the breeze, on me alone it blew. Oh, dream of joy, is this indeed the lighthouse top I see? Is this the hill? Is this the kirk? Is this mine own country? We drifted o'er the harbor bar, and I with sobs did pray, oh, let me be awake, my God, or let me sleep away. The harbor bay was clear as glass, so smoothly it was strewn, and on the bay the moonlight lay, and the shadow of the moon. The rock shone bright, the kirk no less, that stands above the rock. The moonlight steeped in silentness, the steady weathercock. And the bay was white with silent light, till rising from the same, full many shapes, that shadows were in crimson colors came. A little distance from the prow, those crimson shadows were. I turned my eyes upon the deck. O Christ, what saw I there? Each corse lay flat, lifeless and flat, and by the holy rood, a man all light, a seraph man on every corse there stood. This seraph band, each waved his hand. It was a heavenly sight. They stood as signals to the land, each one a lovely light. This seraph band, each waved his hand. No voice did they impart, no voice, but oh, the silence sank like music on my heart. But soon I heard the dash of oars, I heard the pilots cheer. My head was turned perforce away, and I saw a boat appear. The pilot and the pilot's boy, I heard them coming fast. Dear Lord in heaven, it was a joy the dead men could not blast. I saw a third. I heard his voice. It is the hermit good. He singeth loud his godly hymns that he makes in the wood. He'll shrieve my soul. He'll wash away the albatross's blood. Part 6 seems to be filled with a lot more hope, both, I think, within the narration and the tone of the mariner, but also within a lot of the imagery that we're given. The beginning of it, the first 5 or 6 stanzas being the dialogue between the spirit voices that are heard above the mariner. The mariner seems to be passed out because the ship is accelerating at such a speed that humans would not be able to bear it if they were conscious at that time. And the voices above him seem also to be discussing a certain kind of ease about the ocean or about the moon and about some sort of graciousness being given upon the ship and upon the sailor, which is, I think, a bit of a twist from what we might have expected at the end of the last section. But when the mariner awakes, his penance begins again. It only lasts kind of three more stanzas of the poem, and he tells us around line 442 that the spell was snapped, and once more I viewed the ocean green. So I think right around that portion is where the curse is lifted. The curse is finally taken off of the mariner there. And reading through this moment took me by surprise, because it doesn't seem as though at this point he did any out of the ordinary or extra thing that earned it, other than sort of merely enduring the penance this long. And so there seems to be a suggestion within the poem that perseverance through unexplainable and kind of unshareable or unrelatable torment is its own kind of heroic virtue, even if you've done something that symbolically echoes beyond what you think is, what you think. You just sort of kill a bird, and then it's actually reverberates much bigger than that. Not to say that violence against birds is okay, but merely persevering through the torment becomes its own heroic act within this poem, it seems to me. And then a few stanzas down, after this, we get more description of the ocean being green again. Earlier, we had heard the ocean being green, being black, seeming kind of like a witch's brew that could be on fire. And now he's describing it again as green, which often I think we associate blue with the clearness of the ocean, but here perhaps it's symbolizing a sort of verdantness or a renewal and a life. And then nearer the end of this section, around line 465, the mariner seems to spot and behold his own native country. He's finally seeing land again. You'll remember in previous parts of the poem that part of the doldrums and the isolation and the craziness is this feeling of being on the ocean for so long and not ever progressing, not ever moving, not ever seeming to make your way through the water like a still ship upon a still painting is how it was described. After this, after he seems to see the land, which shines bright, the lighthouse there, the rocks that he recognizes, then the spirits that were standing with or over the dead of the boat, those 200 or so men who were dropped dead by death itself, those spirits arise and leave. And what's interesting is they seem to appear in their own sort of light, and it's a burning light, one that's associated with a redness, but it's described as crimson, which to me suggests something more celebrated, regal, royal, if you will. It says, "The crimson shadows, and I turned upon the deck. Oh Christ, what I saw there." So again, we're moving out of this realm of the supernatural that he's not able to place within a specific religious or mythological paradigm back into something that appears to be, to him, like a Christian theological symbol, angels. Although I don't believe he actually uses that word here. He refers to them as seraphmen, which is, the seraphim and the cherubim are words associated with angels in the Psalms and in the Old Testament. And then even this was the place where I knew that the mariner might actually be okay this time, because we've had these ups and downs where he seems like, maybe it was good I killed the bird, maybe it was bad I killed the bird. Oh, look at these spirits look nice. Oh no, wait, these spirits are going to kill us. One place where it seems as though he might actually be getting some reprieve, at least to me, was with the silence. The silence is described in a paradoxical way here as like music upon my heart. The silence descending like music upon my heart. And I think that's a place where the emptiness and the stillness of nature, the kind of abyss, if you will, that he had been experiencing previously, is now offering him almost a sublime consolation, which, this being a work of romantic poetry, reminds me of something like Shelley's work. And right after this moment of the silence upon his heart, he's lifted again by a feeling of a feeling of hopelessness and of being saved, because he then sees a boat with 2 or 3 people on it, the pilot and the pilot's boy, and he cries out to the Lord in heaven, and ends with a sort of prayer, right? That being saved here literally is also going to lead to his soul being saved and being washed away of the albatross's blood. So this is perhaps the first of the 6 parts that we've read that leads to and seems to suggest a redemption and a being washed clean here. Still, as a reader, I have some trepidation about this because of the way that the plot of this poem has been structured, that I'm sort of feeling like, don't get your hopes up too soon. There's something surely right around the corner that's going to come back and curse you, but perhaps not. And we will see within the last 100, about 100 lines of the poem in part 7, which we'll read tomorrow. This video ended up going a little bit longer than I intended, but if you're still with me, thank you for your patience and your attention as we go through our slow read here of Coleridge's The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. And I do hope that you'll join us again tomorrow for the conclusion of the poem. And as always, if anybody has additional thoughts about what we've read that I've not covered or things I did not notice in and bring to everyone's attention here, this being such a rich and lengthy poem, I would love to hear anybody's thoughts or contributions, either in comments or you can send a message, because I'm learning along with everyone else, and different perspectives open up these very rich works for us. So I do hope you'll share those with me. And may you all have a warm and a lovely and a peaceful Saturday.